what we're gonna do on this tour is we're gonna bring mental health education through entertainment face to face to people. And that's a lot different than sending out a tweet saying, I have this or I have that. But this next step needs to be actually bringing it to people and fully pushing the door all the way down and make it acceptable. This organization didn't begin because when I was sick, my thought was, can I start an organization that can potentially help change the world? Right. That's obviously a grandiose thought, and that's not something that you always, put in your mind as something you have the power to do. I went through so many things that I learned the story of so many other people who also went through so many things that it hit me in a very big way to say, there's a huge epidemic going on here. We have to solve for all of this. Everyone you talk to, whether it's the people themselves who are going through it or their family or their friends, like everybody's fucked up in some way. And I was like, I agree with you, but I don't know that we could use "we're all a little fucked up" as the name of our organization. With credit to my friend Daren, he went up to the board and he wrote, "We're all a little crazy." And the name really resonated with me. This is before Luke and I had ever met. So I Googled and I just put in "we're all a little crazy," seeing what would come up. And Luke's song came up.
And where's the origin of your song?
On social media, there was like this crazy kind of political stuff going on, and I found myself getting like super exhausted by it. So I wrote a song about how we all have different points of view and we're all different, you know what I mean? But we're all the same at the same time. And it turned into "we're all a little crazy."
You didn't change the song at all, and if I'm listening to it from a mental health standpoint, the whole song works the same way. You really do not know that you were thinking of it.
But symptoms are really what ties us together. Like the meaning behind crazy is, again, I am a little on edge. Sometimes it's difficult to get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes I just feel a little off and I don't feel as strong as I am. That's the type of stuff that will resonate with people, that everyone can understand, as opposed to raising your hand and saying, I have depression, I have anxiety. That's not going to get us where we need to, because those labels just separate us.
It's really cool to me to be able to kind of see an organization from the beginning, and it's kind of crazy how it's like growing so quickly and what it's turning into.
I've gotten to a point where I've achieved success and fame in my career, and at some point there's some emptiness to it, and I think I reached that point, and I enjoy it and I feel fortunate, but there's got to be something more. And through Eric and through "We're All a Little Crazy," I've found that something more.
This year seems like a banner year for athletes in particular, high-profile athletes, to mention that they have a mental health issue. It doesn't seem like society has had that breakthrough, so it makes us think, like, is it ever going to happen?
That is a poignant point, is we have more people talking about it, but the wall hasn't come down yet. The way that we talk about these stories in society, because we're still not educated on mental health, is because people think of 1 in 5. When someone comes out with their story, it's not me, I'm in the other 80%. And so instead of it being a "we're all in this together," it's poor Kevin Love, poor DeMar DeRozan. As more and more stories come out related to any type of cause, it's talked about in a vacuum. There's a one-off and then it goes away, and it's not part of a common thread. You have to look at this as the only way we're going to attack this is with a grassroots effort of people with platforms coming together, along with everyday people realizing, wow, these people with platforms have my back, we're all in this together, and it just swells from there. Same here is the American Sign Language sign that stands for, I've dealt with challenges in my life, you've dealt with challenges in your life. Those challenges affect our mental health. Why should we be afraid to talk about it? And so when you tear down that barrier of labels and you just talk about this is what life throws at us, makes it much easier for us to be able to acknowledge it and for us to confront it and for us to be able to talk about it.
Being involved in anything that's bigger than you are, there's an amount of pressure. So you do what you can to connect with as many people as possible and kind of, again, spread the same here message, right? Like everybody has things going on and everybody's different, and if we can spread it to, like we said earlier, like one person hears the message and takes it to heart, like that's huge. For me, it's not necessarily like a traditional tour, which is really cool to me that we're actually going with like a purpose. Normally the tour purpose of a musician is to go and spread your name out, like, look at me, I'm here. And this is cool because it's connected with the organization, and we're gonna actually, like you said, be spreading mental health education.
Like, how many movements have been out there from a social perspective where you've been able to combine the power of arts with sports and platforms of people who can talk about it in the same way where it matters? We all belong to one large group. We all go through things, and it's socially acceptable to talk about it. And until we get to that point, we're still going to have people who suffer in silence.